Hey, what's up? I was asked to do this video by a friend of mine that lives on the street here. He owns his own shop and everything, towing company, stuff like that. He had a really big accident happen last year where he was dirt bike racing and his body went numb. He hit the ground. His ambulance was called. He had a massive stroke, really, really bad stroke. It actually cost him to be able to talk, to move properly. He's healing. He's getting better. But he gave me a call one day and he said, "Hey, I know you do YouTube and stuff. Would you please make a video about how I was doing before this happened, and then afterwards, all the chaos and stuff afterwards, and then how he's recovering, doing today." So this is the video I made. Please like, subscribe. It will help out the channel. I can make more videos like this, and also I can help him financially because he is in a crisis right now. He can't afford to pay his bills or anything. So please, if you can, it would help out the channel. Like, subscribe, and I'll keep making videos like that. Plus, I have a lot of new content coming up. Some really good stuff that I want you guys to see about Ranonautica and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, like, subscribe, comment at the bottom, and if you know anybody else that had a stroke like he did, comment at the bottom. Send the story in, and maybe I might cover it for you. All right, have a good day.
You think he's sweet. You think he's sweet.
What's your face, Brian?
Can you show him? You do a visual.
On me.
On you. Not necessarily with the washcloth, but like tell him.
Frank, wash your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! Not supporting yourself.
He's actually pushing.
Oh. Never mind.
I was about to say, you're actually making me work harder.
Yeah.
Can you come down on your elbow?
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
lean. Do a big lean.
All right. State your first and last name and date of birth.
Him.
Frank Lee, 11/15/66.
Cola Murphy. June 26, 78.
Okay. Where did you grow up and what school did you go to?
Norfolk, Virginia. Booker T. Washington High School.
Okay. Did you live there your whole life?
Yeah, Chesapeake and Norfolk.
Okay. Tell me about your siblings.
One kid.
One kid.
Brothers and sisters.
Oh,
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. Five brothers and one sister.
And where are they at now? They still live here, or are they?
Yeah, they're still in Chesapeake.
Okay. And what do they do for a living?
I can't remember all that. Stroke.
Okay. Okay. All right. When we pass that one, um, tell me about when you started work at Lincoln Mercury. That was in '84. What did you do there?
In 84.
Your first job. What'd you do there?
I was what did I do?
Take your time. So.
I was in the service department.
Okay. Were you like selling cars, or were you ordering, or?
No, I was just working in the service department.
Okay. Okay. All right. And how long did you work there for?
I think 7 years.
7 years. Okay. And the next one up is your towing company. Now, how did you transition from working from Lincoln to getting this towing company, money wise, and why did you Why did you go that route to get the towing company?
When I go that route, it was a easy way of making money.
Okay. And how did you come up with the funds, and where did you get your first truck from?
Uh, I got a little money from my brother, and I had a little money saved up.
Okay. And you bought a truck brand new, or you just bought it used?
I bought a 86 Chevrolet C30,
Okay.
and I had the back part on it brand new.
Okay. And you started out that company and used that money to get your auto repair shop, or how did that work?
Oh, it was a long time.
Just a towing company?
No, I ran the towing company for a long time, and
Okay.
about 7 years later, opened up a auto repair shop.
Okay. And who did you get this auto repair shop from? Who did you buy it from?
Um, Burton number.
Burton Lumber.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was in 1995, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think it was 95.
95. Okay. And what made you want to get an auto repair shop? Just because you had the towing company to kind of bring the
Yeah,
two together?
yeah,
Okay.
they bring the two shops together.
Okay. And do you remember how much you paid? Around the lines of
I
auto
don't,
repair?
I think it was, I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Not sure.
about that.
Okay. And where is this company located at?
81 Wilson Road, Chesapeake, Virginia, 22324.
Okay. So you got the shop, you got towing company, then we move on to auto sales. You bought the trailer across the street and started selling cars. Where did you get the cars from, and also what got you into selling cars?
I told a lot of cars in that they came up for sale, and I had quite a few cars for sale. So I
Okay. Okay. See, we got the auto sales, and then you started renting cars. This
renting
was
cars, yeah.
this was from 2015 to 2020, roughly.
Yeah,
Why did you stop renting cars?
I stopped renting cars because insurance.
Insurance. How does that work? How does the insurance work? Like, is it because is it insurance too high, or if somebody wrecks a car that it costs you a lot of money?
Yeah, I didn't really do it right at the time. Like
Right.
you have to have insurance on cars. I had insurance on cars too, but you have to have more than that. So
Yeah. Full coverage kind
it was more to it than it looked.
of. So it pretty much costing you more money than you were making, kind of.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then after that, what else did you get into? Did you get into any other kind of business, or did you you know, what when it comes to your shop, what were you selling? You were selling cars, you were fixing cars, uh,
Tony.
you were towing cars. Were you selling anything else? Were you selling
No, no.
nothing else? Okay. Then you said something about, which is leading up to the incident, dirt biking. What got you into racing dirt bikes? Was it a friend, or was it
Yeah, but this is
He don't race
basically, I
dirt bikes. He
don't,
just was doing
yeah,
it for a hobby.
as a
yeah,
fun thing to do?
that's a fun thing.
Okay. Okay. And how long did you do that for?
Not, I didn't really race for a long period of time. Uh, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 years, but
Mm-hmm.
I've ridden dirt bikes my whole life.
Okay. Did you race anything else like quads or cars or?
I got quads.
Okay.
I got about three or four dirt bikes.
Okay. Okay. Now, leading up to the event, you said you were racing, and then after the race, you were heading home. And tell me what happened.
I was headed home, and
What'd you feel first?
I started, my arms started going out on me.
Mm-hmm.
I started feeling the funny feeling in my arm. I had to pull over.
Mm-hmm.
Then I called my girl and brother, and pretty much that was it. I
That's the
fell
last
out.
thing.
I
Mm-hmm.
fell out. I stayed out for harming.
All that night. All that night to the next day,
Now,
basically.
when that came on, like that feeling that came on, your arm getting numb, did you start to get worried, panicking,
Yeah, I just knew I was in bad shape because
in trouble?
never had nothing ever happened to me.
Mm.
Okay. So you call your wife, you call your brother, and then you go out. What happens next? This is probably where you can feel a little bit.
When he called me, he was just like, "Baby, I think I need you to come get me."
Okay.
And I was like, "Wow, what's wrong?" He said he think he was having a stroke. So I was like, "Where you at?" He couldn't really tell me the cross streets, but when he said Capostella, I was like, where? Military Highway? And he was like, yeah, yeah. So I said, okay, baby. So I hung the phone up, left out the store, and I immediately called 911.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started flying down Military Highway. The ambulance, the 911 dispatcher was like, they was gonna send somebody in that area. And the closer I got, I kept calling him back. The first time I called him back, I could tell that he couldn't even talk.
He couldn't
His
talk at
speech
all.
was like slurred,
Um.
very slurred. And then that's what scared me.
Okay.
And then the closer I got, when I got to the intersection of Military Highway and Compostela, I didn't see him nowhere. So then I really started, my stomach started hurting. I really started getting
Really
worried.
panicking then.
Yeah. And then, so I was telling the 911 dispatcher, I don't see him. I'm looking for him. And she was like, well, just continue to look for him. I'm still sending somebody. They're on their way. And when I happened to look off to my right, I saw his bike parked.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew through the parking lot, ran the red light, went across the street, and he was laying on the ground,
Completely just out,
just limp.
unconscious.
He wasn't completely unconscious. He was just limp. He was trying to hold himself up with his left arm.
Mm-hmm.
And all this was just limp. His leg was like to the back.
Mm.
And he was drenched with sweat. And at the time I pulled up, the ambulance pulled up too.
Mm.
So
Well, they
that
got
was
there
good.
pretty quick.
Yeah, they got there quick.
Okay. And what happened then? Did you ride inside the ambulance with them, or did you follow
Nope.
them?
They said that they was to me they was taking so long with him. And I was like, can y'all just put him in the ambulance? Can y'all just take him? They was like, well, we gotta find out what's going on. And he had all his stuff on him. They had to take all the stuff out of his pockets. And they was trying to talk to him and, evaluate him. And he couldn't talk. His
Couldn't
speech
talk.
was
Yeah.
really gone then. And then that's when they lifted him up. And I'm like, do I ride with him? And he was like, no, just follow the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to ride behind them to
Okay.
Chesapeake Regional.
Okay. And when you got there, you basically took off work
Yeah, when
for.
I got there, it was in the evening around this time, like 7, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So when I got there, I was in the lobby. They told me to go in the waiting area, and the doctor would come out. And then he came out like, I'd say 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, and told me that he had a brain bleed. So they
Ooh.
must have did a CAT scan
Yeah.
and everything first. And they said he had a blood clot that bust,
Mm.
and which they called a hemorrhagic stroke.
So it was a pretty bad one.
Yeah, the worst ones that you can have.
Yeah.
And they said due to his blood pressure was like 190 something over 200 or something. It was high.
Oh, that's way
It
up
was
there.
way high. And so when I got back there, he was out. He was laying on the um, hospital bed. He was out.
And he was supposed, going back, he was supposed to be taking blood pressure medication before this happened, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So he hadn't taken his blood pressure medication in years. He was
Okay.
trying to do things natural, I
Okay.
guess, with like vitamins and vinegar and things like that, organic stuff.
Okay.
But it won't work. Evidently, it was causing it to be more higher than.
Might have been too hot outside too, helping.
And it was like 90 degrees outside. It was very hot. And then I didn't know at the time he was racing, but if you racing, his adrenaline going, that could have just
sweating.
made everything just come to a head.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dehydration, all
Yeah.
that factors in.
Yep.
Okay. And then, so what happened? You went in there, you took off work for 3 months.
Yeah, from that time when I was in there, we didn't know what was going on, what was going to happen. So they admitted him, and they came in later on that night and described how big the blood clot was, which was like a quarter size, a little bigger than a quarter.
It was that big?
Yeah. Mhm.
Wow.
And
Alright. The next section is him at the hospital. I'm going to show you a few short clips of him in the hospital. This is after the motorcycle accident. Well, not accident, but after him getting done racing. He calls his wife. His wife calls an ambulance. They get picked up. He gets taken to the hospital. He's unconscious. He's not in good shape. These are some of the videos from what his wife sent me. And just take a look at him and see how dire the situation was.
Oh, yes. You have a good teeth. Where's your dentist at, though?
I don't believe in going to no dentist, no doctors, no nothing.
For real?
Yes. That's just how he is.
Stick out your tongue.
He
Come
take
on.
good care of
So
himself.
you can kiss Cola. Come on.
Yeah, baby.
Stick out your tongue.
You stick
Gotta
your tongue
get
out.
Come on, stick out your tongue out. Because you got some white stuff. There you go.
No, he don't like that.
But I just want to try to help you.
Yeah.
Clean you up.
You gotta do it again, baby. He gotta do it again. I know you don't like it.
Here. You want to do it on your own? One more.
One more time, baby.
Think we got it? You're done?
You're gonna be safe. You're gonna feel a change. You're gonna be safe. Okay.
Get
Good.
out of here, Dad.
Right. Good.
All right. Hold on. Oh, he's helping. Yep.
Yes,
Come on
you
out.
are.
Yep.
Watch your lines. Can you bring him to your other side?
His nose thing, yeah.
There you go. Ready? Let's go.
Ooh,
Come on.
ooh.
There we go.
I was about to say, he was in
He did
There we
that.
go, Dad.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's get up out of here.
Hey. You feel dizzy at all? You feel dizzy at all? Hi, love.
Your balance bag.
Fix it.
Good. Hey, good grabbing of my leg. Let's think. Yeah. Find my eyes. I'm up here. You got eyes open. open now. You got some gook in your eye.
Okay. Starting with the blood clot.
So once he was admitted, they wanted to keep an eye on the blood clot because they said if the swelling it made his brain swell, I guess, and if the swelling didn't go down, then they would have had to go in and release the swellingness by doing surgery, and that's what the neurologist surgeon was not trying to do.
Okay.
So they wanted to monitor him all night long.
Okay.
So once they admitted him in the hospital, then the next day it was just like, the next months or so, it was just like a waiting game. The next few weeks.
Yeah.
So I had to contact his brothers. I had to go find his brother and call his daughter and tell them that he had a stroke.
Okay. And how was that? A lot of
Oh,
pressure?
yes. It was a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety, scared,
Yeah.
in disbelief. His brother, Mike, was very upset, very worried. Everybody was just scared because they did not think this would happen. They did not think this would happen to him,
Yeah.
of all people.
So what was going through your mind the whole time? Like as you're sitting there in the hospital and he's knocked out, he's in a coma,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting there by his bedside. What are you thinking? Like he's not gonna come out of it? You're worried that you're gonna lose your husband? You're worried,
Honestly, I knew how strong he was. So I didn't, for some reason, I didn't think he was going to pass at all. That was a fear, but I'm so spiritual, I just started talking to Jehovah and I was just looking at him and it was like he was asleep. It's like they didn't put him in a coma, but I guess they had to hurry up and put him on blood pressure medication. That the side effects from the different medications cause you to sleep,
yeah, knock
to
him
be
out pretty
out.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think he won't gonna make it. I knew from being in this field, in the medical field, that it was something serious and some people don't make it.
Oh yeah.
But my first thought was, okay, I know he's strong. So I didn't really think that he was gonna pass at all.
Yeah.
I didn't think. I just knew right then that it was gonna be a long process, and I had to suck it up and just do what we had to do. Do what I had to do.
And did you stayed there 24/7 with him?
24/7, yeah.
For 3 months straight.
3 months straight. I went home just to change clothes, and then I stopped doing that. I bought all my clothes, my personal stuff, his clothes, soap, everything. Because even though nurses was coming in there cleaning him and turning him, and they weren't doing a great job, so I had to go behind them, make sure his butt was clean, make sure his body was clean, make sure his hair was combed, make
Not
sure
getting
he was
bed
getting the right
sores.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they kept him on a lot of different medications, blood pressure medication, through his IV. And then they had to eventually make a choice to feed him because he was in there for like a few days, and then they had to put a tube down his nose to go to his stomach to feed him.
And this is when he woke up, or is this when he's out?
No, this is why they wanted to wait till he woke up, so he can be alert.
Okay.
But during all that time, they was also still monitoring his brain, his blood clot. So they did a CAT scan that night, and then the next day he was in there. The next morning they did another one, and then later on that evening, the doctor came in and was like, "It looked like they didn't have to go in and do surgery." So we was so thankful for that.
That would have been a tough one. Having to go
Yeah,
through surgery after all that.
I'm telling you. And it's like the blood, after like a week, I say 3, 4 days, the blood clot was shrinking.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going back. It's supposed to go back and, like dissolve like back in your brain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what it looked like it was doing.
Okay.
So he was headed in the right direction with that.
Good.
Yeah.
Now explain to me. Say you're in there for 3 months. What point in time did he wake up, and what happened when he opened his eyes and realized he was in the hospital?
Oh, he woke up probably like 4 days, like 3, 4 days at the beginning, like
Mm-hmm.
the first week, within the first week. And all he could do, I could tell he was like more upset
Mm-hmm.
than anything. Like wondering, like, how
What?
did that happen to him?
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know? And he was just looking around. He seen all of us there, me and his daughter.
Did he
Um,
recognize you?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He recognized us. Um, he couldn't really do anything. All he could do was, look at us.
He couldn't talk,
That's it. He couldn't
nothing.
talk at all. Nope, at all.
What about like muscle movement? Could he lift his arms or anything, or?
Just his left side, but he was so like they had him so drowsy, like with all the medication. Is like
Mm-hmm.
he just laid there and just would like just look at us, and we would
Yeah.
just continue just talking to him, kept
Yeah.
talking to him. I kept just talking to him, kissing him.
Yeah. Showing love.
Yeah,
So
just
when
trying
did?
to keep him up,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
keeping the spirit up.
So when did he start getting to the point where he was coming around where he could start making sense of put putting sentences together and stuff like that?
Weeks, probably like a few weeks. He still couldn't put sentences together for a long time, but he would try to say things and we couldn't hear him. He was low. And then while he was in the hospital, I say the first 2, 3 weeks, he ended up getting pneumonia.
Got pneumonia too?
Yep. They found pneumonia. Yep. So they gave him an antibiotic on top of all the other medication he was already on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like real congested, like in his mouth, in his chest. So the respiratory therapist had to come and suck all that stuff out, the mucus and everything out. And they retested him for pneumonia, like did an x-ray, took him back downstairs, do an x-ray. And in like 3, 4 days, they didn't even see the pneumonia anymore. The pneumonia was gone.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So during all this time, he started waking up and trying to talk, and I'm talking to him, and like, that's when I started wanting him to repeat after me,
Mm-hmm.
like, so I got videos of him, like his brother's name, my name, the dog name, his daughter, and he couldn't do it right away. It was like a delay because that's the effect from the stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Was he aware that? Was he even aware at that moment when you were talking to him that he was in the hospital because of a stroke?
yeah,
Okay.
he was aware.
Okay.
Yeah, because we was telling him,
Yeah.
talking to him, telling him and stuff,
Okay.
and he just tried to talk, tried to say things. He was saying everything that I was telling him to say. He was repeating it, and I could understand what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would have to think before he said it. He didn't just say it. If I said Cody, he would,
Long pause.
yeah, long pause.
Okay.
And then he would say it, and I was like, yeah, baby, yeah.
Well,
Just encourage him. Yeah,
you gotta get him going.
exactly. He never smiled the whole time. He just laid there like looking evil. But I knew him. I knew that he wanted to do what he had to do to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Yep. That's the type of man he is.
He was observed. He observed everything that was going around him, even though they say he probably wouldn't know what was going on or
He
what
was
happened.
probably more aware than they think that he was.
he's way more sharper than they think he is.
Okay. So after all that,
Mm.
let's say the day of when he left the hospital,
They decided that he needed inpatient. They wanted to put
inpatient
him in an
treatment.
inpatient treatment.
Okay.
Um, so they had physical therapy come into his room, like trying to lift him up, trying to get him to sit up, but he was still weak, full of fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, his sugar kept going up, but that was because they was feeding him the wrong food through his tube.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I would be at work, before I even took my leave, I would go to work, and me and his daughter would taking turns. Um, they were setting him up, and they put him in another chair, like transport him to another chair.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter said once she looked up because he didn't want that in his nose. So one time he tried, now he's realizing that he got tubes in him and he got this nose thing in him.
Starting to come around.
Yeah, so now he's trying to reach
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to stop him from reaching, so they had to like tape it to his nose real good. And then they were trying different medications, and then I noticed that one medication I didn't even know they tried another medication, but it started making him like psychotic a little bit.
Okay.
I could tell a
Okay.
difference in him within 2 days. He was trying to lift up, pull the IVs out his arm.
Get a little aggravated.
Oh yeah, he was getting now he's getting agitated. Like
Yeah.
now he's like ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
ready to get up. He can't walk, trying to walk, trying to get up and walk, pulling on the bed. So then they had to strap him down.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they had to strap him down. And we kept having to tell him like, if you don't stop, they're gonna restrain you. They're gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
this on you.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want him to be restrained.
Yeah.
So his daughter kept telling him, talking to him and stuff. Dad, you can't keep doing that. And so he calmed down. Would keep going to sleep, kept going to sleep. We was doing research on all the medication. His daughter was doing all the research on the medication. His daughter is super smart.
Okay.
She love her daddy. She's a daddy's girl. And she would not let nobody get away with anything. Like the nurses.
Good. Good.
We agree on a lot of stuff. I was telling her like, you his daughter, whatever you want, go, because I know how tight y'all are. And then she knew how we were. So she still would come to me and ask me like, is this okay?
Right. Right.
And
Okay.
she was on it. She didn't let nobody. She was on it with her dad.
Telling them nurses what to do,
yes,
huh?
Lord. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So as we, he basically signed himself out of the hospital, correct?
Oh well, no. He got transferred to the rehab, so him and his daughter went.
Rehab, and then
I was at work, and then the next day I went up there in Richmond, and it was a 21-day facility.
Mm-hmm.
And there he's supposed to get his speech, his physical therapy, his occupational therapy is supposed to help him come around and start to talk and walk and lift his arm, get his feeling and stuff back.
Move a little bit.
Yeah. It was great. It's a great facility, but it wasn't fast enough for him. Like he wanted to do something like every day, because now he's getting back. Like he don't want to just lay on no bed all day.
Yeah.
Seeing everybody else in that facility in the bed.
And I don't want to be there with all them old people.
Yeah, he was seeing a lot of older people in there that like some people didn't have a leg. Some people like was just laying around. Yeah, it was very depressing for him.
Yeah.
And when they come get you, they come and get you, and they take you for like 40 minutes, but then they don't come back till 2-3 days later, and do the same thing. So
You only get 40 minutes out of
40 minutes,
days?
like 40 minutes in a whole day.
Yeah.
Like that was his schedule. PT, OT, speech. And sometimes they didn't have speech, so he only got PT. Sometimes they didn't have OT, so he only got speech. So that was extremely slow for him.
Yeah.
But I kept trying to encourage him, like, this is gonna help you, this is gonna But the whole time I was there, I was helping him out the bed. He couldn't walk to the bathroom. I had to walk him to the bathroom. The nurses was coming in there helping him use it, but then I just started doing it. But because it was a facility, they didn't want just me to do it, just in
Right.
case something happened, if he fell or whatever.
Well, they should have been doing it. That's their job.
It should have been on it.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes he would lay there in his pee. I didn't like that because you couldn't find the nurse.
So basically, the doctors let him sit in his own shit and piss most of the time, not even cleaning him, not even going and changing out his waste bucket or cleaning up properly so he wouldn't get rashes and stuff. Really, honestly, they should have sued the damn hospital for that, for staff not helping like they should have, because he can't help himself. So he's relying 100% on people in that hospital to take care of him like he needs to be taken care of. So after all of this, he gets released from the hospital.
Up here in Richmond, in this nice facility, so he can get everything he needs. Sheltering arms, VCU, the best of the best. He need to get this done with in the next 21 days so he can get back to doing what he do best. And that's work, work, work. But he just gotta stop being so goddamn stubborn. Oh, Jesus. That's it, baby. You put an aftershave on that first? I mean, no.
Yeah.
Alright, now tell me what it was like when you went back to work. Who came back to work with you, and what was it like going back to the shop after all this?
I wouldn't know.
The Scarlet was at the trailer, and his brother Mike would come up there and sit with him.
Okay.
But the other Mike was, I know he built that ramp out there for him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing toes. He was towing, remember?
Mike,
He was doing toast for you. And did you remember, like, when you went back in, did you remember how to use the computer or to write down anything, take
I
receipts?
can't, no,
None of that.
none of that. I can't do none of
Yeah,
that
because
now.
that's his good side. So he
Yeah.
couldn't write,
Okay, okay,
sign things, all that stuff.
okay. And, let's see. Did you show up to work every day? Were you there every day, managing the shop like usual?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
I didn't know.
He didn't start off going every day. It was like 3 days a week.
3 days a week?
Mainly when Miss Scarlett was there.
Okay,
So she was there 3 days a week. He was going 3 days a week.
okay.
And just sitting up there trying to just get his business back going.
Right, right.
And taking care of stuff that he needed to take care of. And that was really helping him mentally.
Okay.
That was really, and physically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
And when you opened it up, was business flooding back in, or
No.
did it take a while to get it moved back again, keep it going? You know, did it take a while to get customers to come back? Was it slow at first?
Yeah, it was kind of slow.
Kind of slow at first. And when did you really start getting, back in the hang of it? How many weeks do you think that was?
Never really got back in the hang of it. I don't know.
He got back in the hang of it. It's just that it took like 2, 3 months
Two or
for
three
Yeah,
him to
months.
really start going back every single day.
Right, remember and stuff. And
Yes.
getting people to work and whatever.
Yeah, during all that time, he was trying to get people to work for him. Drivers, he needed drivers, mechanics. People was coming every now and then, but he had nobody stable. Like, you know, he had a guy that was helping him, like, keep the shop clean, cleaning up and stuff. But
what about the people there now? Were they there when you came back?
no,
Steve's back. Steve's been there before.
yeah, he been there
And
years ago.
Oz has been there before.
Yeah,
I had another guy working also. He was there. And
yeah, talk about that.
And Mike pretty much left.
Mike had got sick. I don't know what happened to Mike.
Yeah.
But he was helping him a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when one left, then he had somebody else that came in.
Okay. Okay.
Much. So it was happy. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
For real, it was a blessing.
Well, I'm glad you got through it. What are your plans for the future? Just anything? Keep the shop going.
Get stronger.
Get stronger.
Get better in shape.
So now he's going back to the gym like he was before.
Good.
4 o'clock in the morning, every morning.
5 days.
Like 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Now he's able to dress himself. I don't have to dress him no more.
Good.
He's able to cook his own, not cook on the stove, but he's able to fix his own food. He's able to get in the bathtub by himself and out the bathtub by himself.
Shower himself.
Shower himself. All these things he couldn't do at first. Now he's doing it.
And that took what?
Months.
About 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
That's pretty quick though to come back.
It's quick from a brain bleed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
severe.
severe.
Sure is. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's pretty much wraps up everything. I mean, if you got anything else to say.
Just make sure you take your blood pressure medication if you don't have
Yes, sir.
blood pressure. Because it is serious. It is serious.
Y'all heard it first. Y'all take your blood medication, and that could happen to anybody pretty much.
Yeah, it happen at any time.
Yep, happened to my family too. And it's nothing to joke around with.
No.
That's the end of it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.